Hey family, what is up? What is up? Ooh, that's my work list, my handy dandy notebook. You guys, listen. What a schedule. What a schedule. It is Tuesday, and you know how we do sometimes. I just have to sit my little self down, and we will be determined that we are going to tap in and check in with each other, family. Um, I ain't even look. I didn't even get all the stuff out. How are you guys doing post full moon? I have reiterated before, and I will say again that I think this energy is so powerful in the midst of all the water. I think the energy is so powerful, especially from the trilogy of these super moon. It's like a super moon series, right? Super moon series for real. And you know what? Let me get the actual cards out of here. And so, yeah, sometimes when we have big groupings, you be like, girl, this whole year ain't been nothing but a big, and you're right. You know what? You absolutely right. A big grouping since 20 fucking 20. It is. And it is. Let me tell you something though. Let me tell you something. Okay. When we incarnate into a series of such a time as it, we are in the such a time as this, that's these times. Okay. These are the such a time as this. It is such a time as this right now. Okay. Me and my friend just talking about that the other day. Yeah, get in here. Get in here. Listen, we're going to share some energy together. Together. We're going to, everything is so fascinating to me right now. I feel that, moving through the Antares area, being in the midst of all the water, I really do feel also like it's something like, and you know what I feel like it bears repeating because I know I've said it. I know, get you some. Ooh, Palo Santo came with the smoke. Listen, my hands, oh, they smell like wintergreen and cinnamon and spearmint and just deliciousness from pouring up and labeling bottles of oils and preparing packages. I'm so blessed. I'm so fortunate. It's beautiful, and I feel that when I do this work that I do seasonally with the wheel of the year, just having that the beautiful gifts of the earth just on my hands, on me, and I'll get a drop on me, and I always it's so funny. I'll take it as a sign from spirit, and I'll rub it in, or I'll dab it behind my ears or whatever when I'm working with the oil blends. Woo, and I'll just feel like it's like high vibing. I really want to come in with a reminder that I know it is very beautiful. The Sagittarius frequency kind of has a way of pulling us up as we move through the Antares area, which really encompasses Scorpio. Ophiuchus is in there, but oh gosh, that's a whole thing for another day. But Sagittarian frequency, oftentimes it will pull us forward. But I think that what mercurial frequencies, child, I didn't even pull up, let me pull up this chart. Those frequencies really are encouraging us to understand that we have spent the hermit year in this reclamation of the light within our lamps. This is how Spirit is saying it directly to me. So there's an invitation here to just know, just be still and know. I'm hearing that very, very deeply in my spirit. If you are new here, listen, if you're new here, hang tight. It's Aquarius territory over here. I have an Aquarius stellium and lots of fire. So when we sit down and buckle into the seat with spirit and we have our drinky drink, whether you're on the divergent, sparkly side, love and light to all, wherever you find yourself, you are welcome and loved here. But we got some drinks. We might have our little caffeination. We might have our collagen, our vitamin. Well, I always got something. I got a shaker cup. We got something. I sit down in the seat and spirit just, it's like, and we start tapping into the channeling. I do channel a lot. And oftentimes in real time, how very Aquarian of me, I tend to connect a lot of dots. This is also that frequency waning off that big, that juicy, powerful full moon in Gemini. Gemini and Sagittarius pair together, and the neurotransmitters and the higher upper chakras, the interstellar gateways are very open. But I do want to take time and just thank you for being here. I never created this space. I've been doing readings a long time, been studying astrology a long time. I've been a candle maker and a magic seeker and all these things, a wild wanderer for a long time, right? And I just want to say thanks for being here. I will always go on a little soapbox, leave it to an Aquarius, right? As I'm looking over there, all the oils that I make before they go anywhere, I set them on my sacred, like my personal workings altar, and just offer them to the goddess and the earth and ask that they be blessed and whatnot. So they look so pretty over there with my candles. I pour so much love into everything that I create for you guys. So thank you if you have a solstice goodies coming or mystery surprise boxes and all the good things. But yeah, we just hang out here, guys. The age of Aquarius, I think you are already probably notably, because hey, thanks for being here. If you're here, click the like button. That just circulates us to soul family that's on a similar vibrational frequency that we are. It's not about doom scrolling. It's not about clickbait over here. I don't know. It's not a membership thing. I feel like we're a soul family, and I will always reiterate that. I definitely do readings, and I definitely do natal chart, birth chart teaching, intuitive readings there. I do all those good things. Tarot readings, of course, I've done tarot readings forever. So I love you so much. If you've ever booked a reading with me, thank you. It's really my soul's purpose. I do other things as well for, work, so to speak. It's a jack of all trades over here. But yeah, listen, thank you for being here. You'll notice in the age of Aquarius, okay, we're going to get through these thick waters, this pick a trine, any trine, this welcome to the Space Mountain ride. I hope you're buckled in. Look to your left, look to your right, hold hands, everybody. Or hell, I don't know, at this point, very Sag, we might be throwing our hands up. And I love that for you if you are, because, honey, like, there's not a bar at this point. Okay, we're buckled, And say, okay, our ancestors are saying here, because we work with high vibrational frequencies that serve the highest and best good. We honor that there are dark and light polarities over here. We work with dark feminine. We work with the goddess. We work with lots of different frequencies that we channel and tap into for wisdom here. So look, the ancestors kind of tap me on the shoulder and they're saying, tap, tap. Tell them if they need a bar, we are here with you. What is your spiritual routine? What ancestors do you check in with? What animal spirits? What Davic nature spirits that are pure and organic that cannot, in fact, be hijacked? They cannot be inverted for the dark matrix, which is dying. That ugly upside down dissolution of Saturn, all that's dying out, right? Saturn and Pisces, Neptune and Pisces. So it's okay. All is well and all shall be well. Your ancestors they were tapping me on the shoulder. Our ancestors saying, hey, tell them, like, look, you're not going to fly out the seat. I mean, unless you, I don't know if you want to, love and light. Have you ever met a Sag? I mean, I don't know. Dang. They might want to, if that's what you're into. But listen, thank you for being here in the age of Aquarius. As we see, Pluto trumps the board. Pluto and Aquarius will continue to unfold in liquidation and new ways of understanding what community looks like, how we connect to each other. We are not, and I say this with love. Let me pull this chart up, y'all. We are not, we're not in the age of Pisces anymore. I'm hearing, we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. And we're not, yeah, we're not, but we're together, aren't we? And in the age of Aquarius, you're going to have lots of different collective communities. You're going to have 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D connections, soul tribes, a reorientation as these timeline convergences start hitting into play next spring. This is family for me, and this is my community here, but also over here I serve, and then I also connect with. It's very liquidation of frequencies, finding support. It is my hope for you. I really do hope that your North Node in Pisces energy that's been guiding you all year through the astrology reminds you that we are all connected in the oneness of divine sovereignty of Source. And when you subscribe here, when you click like here, it just resonates our frequency together. We are in agreement. We support, we learn, we share, we channel, we laugh. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I would say my information is available. You're welcome to email me. It's just been such in the nature of as the nature of the dissolution of all this water. I have not even begun to think about getting back to it. It's like, oh, my website. It's just kind of hanging out there. At one point, I was wanting to revamp it, and that was not the ergonomic flow of it. I don't know. I consider how I want to go about it, and I'm not quite sure. The way that I connect tends to be very organic. It tends to be very ergonomic with people because it's not just a transaction to me. And I find that a lot of times when I have a website, I just don't, I connect with people, and then people, we share with each other, and, things unfold as they do. So I can't really say, I mean, if you're like, how do I get a reading with you? You're welcome to go find me on my Facebook business page. My messenger is very active. You're welcome to shoot me a message. You can send me an email. My business email for Wild Wander is there. I check it frequently. So whatever the case may be, also, I'm the same on Instagram, and you're welcome to go check me out there. But yeah, we're a soul tribe, and we're a soul family here. Thank you if you've just clicked in, and thanks for being here. It's a very open, it's a very unedited, it's a very ergonomic, organic space, right? So just to kind of get that out of the way, because I know sometimes we sit down and I joke that it gets very ADD, but that's the nature of channeling when different spirit frequencies and archetypal energies and streams move through and bring messages. I often, almost all the time, have a chart pulled up and I'm looking at it. And I'm just chatting with you guys to check in. We do get together on new moon and full moons. Oftentimes we will print the chart. We'll look at it together. But yeah, how you guys doing? Let's do a quick check-in. I felt so called. Who was it I was listening to? Molly McCord. You guys know I will always adamantly point you to people that I love and trust, like Pam Gregory, Molly McCord, Heather Ainsworth. I have a lot that I really revere and respect that are long-standing, well-studied. Nightlight astrology is great. If you're curious and want to, we don't gatekeep learning over here. But yeah, with all that being said, there's just this whole, it's like a quiet wisdom. Do you know what I'm saying? How do you sit with endings? How do you really allow, that's like trying to stand over a stove and wish that the pot would boil down to make your roux or your sauce faster. And you can't overheat it. You can't rush it. You don't want to burn it. Solve coagula does not go any faster to come back together to bring the finality of things like wisdom. A lot of this full moon that we came past in Gemini, and in fact, again, we talked about it's the closing of a trilogy of supermoons, is that what is the point of the culmination of all of these decades with Saturn? And in fact, 165 years of understanding our spirituality and everything, and our connection with the divine oneness of Source with Neptune and Pisces too. What we do all this for if we don't sit still and be real honest and clear with ourselves? We had a lot of planets in retrograde. Now, mind you, Mercury is direct. Saturn is direct. Now I'm just curious. Of course, we know that Uranus and Chiron are still retrograde. We know that Jupiter and Neptune are still retrograde. It's so, and listen, we love the Sag frequency. We do. Mars is in the last decan of Sag. The sun is still at Sag 17 degrees. Venus is still at Sag. So there's a beautiful frequency in really realigning with finding joy in what we know now that we believe, and finding a tangible sense, a touch point for what it is that we value and why. And a lot of times when we are still yet like sitting in all of this water, all right, just a rundown, right? Okay. Mercury's still wrapping up at the 27-degree mark of Scorpio. Mind you, Mercury started the retrograde journey in Sag, went through went back through Scorpio, and now so he will come back to Sag, but Mercury is still in Scorpio. Jupiter is finishing the retrograde with Cancer energy. Saturn is still in Pisces, right? Neptune still at that anuretic degree of Pisces. North Node in Pisces, right? Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. We keep talking about that one, and I keep saying, let's get us a exact date. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on, you guys, because I think it's like, I want to say off the top of my head. Yes, it's like right at the winter solstice. Black Moon Lilith will actually complete her 9-month journey, having been in Scorpio. So we are really at this. Let's look at the degree marks too, okay? Water at the 27th degree, water at the 23rd degree, water at the 25th degree. Now, the North Node moves differently. For all intents and purposes, not literally moving backwards, but okay. A majority, not considering the North Node, right? Almost all of these water placements that are engaging in these trines, okay? Neptune's still trining with Jupiter. Saturn's still trining with Jupiter. Neptune's still trining with Lilith. What else? Oh, yeah, Neptune trining with Mercury. Because, y'all, it is still dead ass. Pick a trine, any trine. But I want you to understand where we're at with this, okay? We're at the last decan work. And if not 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 3, really. 3 of those are at almost like those last 2 degree, like 27, 28, 29 points. It is the stillness. It is, I'm seeing like someone draining a lake and watching the last bits of water drain out. And I think, taking it back to Gemini and Sag, you can swing into that shadow. We were talking about this with a full moon of just trying to overthink everything right now. I'm going to tell you, it's not going to do a damn bit of good. It's really not. That's not how these frequencies that we've come out of this super moon trilogy are going to serve us best. They're not. And there's like this whole thing of Saturn wanting us to reflect. You know what I'm saying? And because these placements are so important, I want you. It's so imperative for you in your own alchemical journey of who you've become at this big point. In I shit you not. I don't do click doom scroll. Oh, it's for your awareness, that you understand that we're talking about a conscious shift in who you want to become. That's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. We never like to say over here, it's like, you'll never get an opportunity again. You will, but it ain't going to be like this. It's not going to be with this kind of alignment put your boat in on this stream. You know what I'm saying? It's a time. It's such a culmination, and it is very mutable, and it is very watery. And it's like, yes, we do have that good, stable, that slow moving Uranus and Taurus, Uranus retrograde in Taurus. That's a great one to go back and read about, helping us to find, okay. So before I was rooted in these things, but I see that was not in my highest and best good alignment. Or now it's this unexpected, wow, I didn't think we were going to liquidate this. Okay, and we're rooted here. Okay, wow, I didn't think that my feet were going to find their planting down here. Do you know what I'm saying? So we do find grounding, but the point is that we cannot be white knuckling things right now. It is not going to help us to be spiraling into overthinking. There's a lot to be said about the wisdom and discernment of just trust and having faith and understanding. I'm an embodiment of the universe. So therefore I know that I would only want the highest and best good for myself. Now, let me tell you what, if love and light to all, because we're all on different journeys, but if we're running around not doing any work, not doing personal reflection, not changing our patterns, not doing integration, right? Excuse me. When you're out there making choices, and it has a very, like, shadow Sag, shadow water would be a lot of spiritual bypassing, a lot of addiction, a lot of checking out of reality, a lot of avoidance, a lot of passive aggressive. Do you know what I'm saying? Shadow Gemini, shadow Sag. I mean, granted, we are waning off that moon in Gemini, but it is still so powerful. Just like all the other moon's reflection points in that sequence of 3 are still very powerful. But what I'm saying is, if you ain't in a place where, I'm not saying you're going to have it all right and have all the answers and you know exactly, because nobody, that's not real anyway. If you're not in a position to align yourself with your highest and best good and say, yeah, I'll tell you one thing, I did have to get radically fucking honest with myself. I did have to speak some truth. But hey, I also had to listen to some truths. I also had to allow situations, karma that played out, people that were also connected with me. I had to hear their truths. I had to see things about myself. That's an important frequency too, okay? Insight on what you are aligning with now based on what has brought you wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And then also, it's not a dogmatic time, like, at all. It's not going to be that way in the age of Aquarius anyway. That's not going to serve you. Open-mindedness, curiosity, but from a place that has done a lot of healing work, from a place that trusts wisdom and discernment, and that can practice compassionate detachment. I know I keep saying that, excuse me, but it keeps being brought to the table by spirit, and it just has to be said. Do you know what I mean? When we have all of this Sagittarius frequency and it's mutable and it's watery, it's kind of this thing where we just have to understand that we may not really know what it's going to look like on the other side, but we do know who is in our boat. We know, I'm thinking of that elder, is it the prophecy, the Hopi, was it? That song, "This could be a good time." And you go on the other side and you're like, oh, I thought we were fighting for this. And oh, I thought, when really all along, I know it's so, like, almost oversimplified, but the realization is, it was just the journey that was trying to show you something about yourself. About yourself. Spirit keeps pushing me back to that. About yourself. Right? So it's really good for us just to kind of say, okay. We went through this big full moon. I was probably received unexpected information. I perhaps learned, oh shoot, you're telling me, Spirit, the whole time that it was this to learn this about myself. You're telling me that after all this is said and done, that you're taking me all the way back to this thing a decade ago, and now click, I see what I was misunderstanding, and I'm viewing my whole self and how I reacted or interacted with everything differently. These are type of moments that we're having. It's not like I wake up in the morning and I'm completely clear on how everything's going to happen and it's just going to be perfect. No, it's not. We're still on the boat of no one's really knowing where it is we are going, right? But you remember how we were channeling and tapped into the Saturn and Pisces, Neptune and Pisces frequency here, and all of these finality of degree territory we're in with the water? And what was it? Oh, yeah, because Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory just keeps coming through, y'all. I wish you could be a fly on the wall to see how it returns to me daily almost. It's uncanny, but I just vibe with it because I see what my spirit team is showing me. My higher self is showing me, right? it's this whole come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. And it's, what is it? If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. I'm not going to try to sing that, but because I'm still healing just a little bit. We are a lot better, thankfully, over in my neck of the woods. Thank goodness. A year that is rooted in Virgo and sixth house work and a hermit card. It will teach you a lot about health, and your body will purge, and it's just the nature of how the frequency is flowing. I get that. But dang, it was kind of a lot. You feel me? There's a lot of underlying patterns that will be showing themselves to you, especially post full moon in Gemini. A lot of these things that were reprogramming our neural pathways and everything like that, we'll be able to perceive things differently. Excuse me. I want to say this is so interesting that I felt like tapping in and just encouraging us to sit with things and be with things. Don't rush things. We'll be like, yes, we'll write in our journal and be like, I'm not going to rush it. And then we just go back out into the day and we just be rushing, and it's easy to get caught up in the wheel of do more, be more, sweat more, buy more, consume more, put on face more, all of these things that are rooted in that whole be a cog in the wheel, churn out your juices, be vamped off some more. This is the dark inverted matrix that is going to continue to collapse. This is the inverted work of the black Saturnian. Look, I don't want to say too many things, but you get where I'm going. There's really a point to just say, what the fuck is really motivating me? If I take it back 5 years, if I take it back 10 years, 20 years even, right? Because remember, Saturn is closing out a 29.5 year journey around the zodiac wheel through all these archetypes. I will say it again. Neptune, that's like 165 years. We have learned so much about spirit. You've got to be having, or be open to receive, let us say. How about that? Are you really being honest with yourself? Venus and Sag, what do you really set off to adventure for, to champion the truth for? And then that dictates, it's based off what you value. And then from all those roots, we say, what do I spend my time, my valuable energetic currency, i.e. those things that trickle down and create currency of like money, you know what I'm saying? But it's so much bigger than that. Okay, but where is you in all of that, right? Is it in alignment with really what you value now? And honestly, sometimes you're just sitting and you're just digesting things. And then you'll start to see synchronicities. This is that post, coming to Gemini, connecting all the dots. Very mercurial, bringing us all these information stuff from spirit, all these things going on. But it's like again, I have to, it bears repeating, and I'm just channeling, don't shoot the messenger. But it's like, if you are just going fast, plans, dates, you're still stuck. That's still the rut. At some point, you kind of have to say, and now mind you, tomorrow, Neptune will station direct, although Neptune will still be in Pisces. We will still be at that 29-degree aneretic point, but it will be, I feel that it will be like a finality that will kind of come into activation. And it'll kind of be like, okay, you know what? Here we are. We're completing this evolution. We've learned a hell of a fucking lot. And I really understand some things that I didn't understand when I was 20, when I was 30. Sometimes it is hard to go through to a certain degree of this journey if you haven't like had a Saturn return or something like this. But, there's still a lot of wisdom to be found, of course. I want to say we're looking at basically Neptune will station direct like on the 10th. I want to say. Mercury will go back into Sag, which I think will be really great. I think that we'll find a lot of inspiration there. But there's this temptation in the shadow to say, well, let's just pick up and keep moving fast. Like, let's work out. Oh, finally, I have energy to like maybe work out at the gym harder, but maybe your back has been twinging you. You're like, I don't know, there could be things in your life, your health, your body, your soul that are just like, I'm tired. And it's going to be hard to be optimistic and really grasp truth and wisdom and open my spirit and mind if I can't slow down and be still a little bit. So I think that actually Mercury going into Sag in a couple days will be great. I think that, what is it like? I kind of have to tinker with the chart a little bit, but I want to say a couple days after, maybe like, probably like the 15th. Mars will enter Capricorn. And that gives the whole, we got to wrap this up. We've got to ground it out. We've got to look at the long-term sustainability. We have to kind of delay our gratifications, and then we'll be working our way to a new moon in Sag. Yeah. And then, of course, on the winter solstice, we'll have the sun that will shift from Sagittarius to Capricorn. So it's like we have a little bit of time this week to really acclimate, understand, be radically honest with ourselves, say, this is where we are now. Let's sit with it. Let's be still. Be still and know. Be still and listen. Be still and have faith. Be still and be open to receive, right? So I hope that you guys are doing okay out there, because I know that we are wrapping up what has been a very intense year. I am excited to go into the year of 10, the Wheel of Fortune. But the wheel is going to turn based on how we're moving it, right? Calf, the hand, the wheel. And it's like, what is kind of holding that cog in the wheel in the middle? What is it that you value? Are you being clear on your intentions? But what I'm trying to say to you is we can't do any of that if we don't take time to be still and to kind of honor the shifts that are happening, I'm sure, I absolutely have no doubt that things will still continue to float up from the waters. I know that people have been sharing emotions and activating throat chakras, and it's fine. It's fine. It's not always comfortable. It's not meant to be. You know what I'm saying? Anything worth having, you're going to have to put some blood, sweat, and tears into that shit, and it's not to get to a higher ascended version of the way that we want to live in the age of Aquarius. It's going to take a lot of that. But I hope that you're able to just really, really take time, okay, to honor. I think that this Sagittarius frequency has a lot to give us, but it's like, are we getting out in nature? Are we walking in stillness? Are we doing any spiritual baths? I mean, are we doing any meditations? How have your journals been? You know what I'm saying? It's really not the time in your life to be throwing all that by the wayside, So, let us shuffle Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle. I encourage you to be lighting your candles, really be utilizing your tools, really be pouring into yourself and those around you that you're like, you know what, we're in this boat together. Okay, look, that's so funny. I'm talking about using your tools and Yule log comes out. You see that? Look, talking about light a candle. Okay. And even it's fine. You don't have to have a whole bunch of fancy tools. You know how I feel about that. I feel like a big bulk of my journey that I jumped into as a baby in 2012, I didn't have anything, nor the money or even the play. I had very little, but you can do a lot with a little to get back to an alignment, to really allow your upper chakras, your vision work, to really just allow those things to open up. Because the truth is I think a lot of times when we're dealing with the intensity of these emotions and the intensity of, hey, we're in a season 2, mind you, we're in a season 2 where the karma is going to karma. Karma don't miss nobody. It doesn't matter what you're doing, don't believe, love, and light. We all have different words for it. But 29 and a half years of cycles completing out with Saturn, the dissolution of gates and keys, and a lot of these different things we've been channeling, karma's going to walk itself out. But we have so much in the collective fields that is supporting us. It's almost that energy. It's almost this vibe of like, well, let's just get it all out. Let's just air it all out. Let's just say it. Let's just do it. And then can we hug it out afterwards? Or maybe we do find, I'm sure that some will find like, no, actually we couldn't. Actually, the arrogance never left, or actually the person wasn't doing the work, or actually the information that came to light was what I needed to know to confirm a new path. And if that's where you're at too, I feel that. I really do, because I've been in many a season as being in that exact spot. And it's okay. Understand that anything that liquidates into the void, Spirit is saying it like that, anything that liquidates into the void right now is making space for something new. And you're like, oh, people always say that. That's because it's the truth. Anything that is just like very adamantly making it so super ridiculously clear. You know what Spirit is showing me? Hold on. Where did I save these images? I love to take like screenshots of astrologers, and when I really resonate with stuff, and I have like these different folders. Let me see if I can find it. Because some things is going to be clear. For example, I've been working, let's say you're in a position, you're like, I've been working on cutting these cords for years. I know this year, I know it's done been made to you. It's clear. Go on ahead and cut it. It's got to be cut. Right? Whether that's people, whether it's a career, whether it's the end of an entire version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, let me tell you what too is uncomfortable, is we learn in like longevity of business, creative, platonic, soulmate, or even romantic, like lifelong partner commitments. We learn, hey, guess what? You all went through a lot of really fucking hard shit together, but you learned about each other. And sometimes the real raw thing, it's easy to cover up with spiritual bypassing, and it's easy to cover up with a projection of feelings that you're struggling to deal with. It's easy to go past. Passage of blame is a tricky fucking bitch, love and light. And really the wisdom points that get real deep and that change your whole life is when you say, oh, shoot, I played my part in that too, right? Oh, shoot. I can take that misconception on my own behalf all the way back a decade and see that I was in the wrong here and here. And you sit with that. And sometimes you swallow it. Honey, I know we in the Southeast and the Appalachia down here, we call that eating crow. I don't know what you call it, love and light. You know what I'm saying? We done all ate our fair share, and everybody got plates on the table, and it's uncomfortable to chew and swallow some of that. You know, it's really easy to be like, well, if I just cut that person, if I just cut, and look, honey, listen, I'm Aquarius stellium, okay? My South Node's in Scorpio. You ain't telling me. I love you. We preach to the choir. I'm the choir. I'm with you. I feel it. Right? What were these screenshots that Spirit was calling me back to? All right, so we're going to read this first sequence, and it's just going to be like a full moon wrap-up review, right? Okay, this is from Joshology, and I love his little snaps or his little screenshots and what he shares, because he just condenses a lot into very few words. And I have so much Aquarius, I'm going to tell you right now, condensing things into very few words. I can do it in like my professional life, but not in my channeling life. And that's fine. I accept myself. That's just not my way. But Spirit is calling me to read through some things, and it's like review, and maybe there's an activation here or something for you. This is so funny. I'm about to read this screenshot. Joshology, I think it's Vibe with Josh. If you want to look him up on Instagram, it's great. You know, over here, we always like to lift our fellow people up. There's enough slices of the pie for everybody. And when people resonate with me, I will gladly share them with you, because that's how we roll over here. Yes, I network with beautiful, creative women and co-creative people and collaborate, and they make candles, and so do I. And I buy their oils and they buy mine, and it's wonderful. And that's how it should be. Okay, so let's just move forward. But this is like a review, right? So he writes, full moons are when we release, cleanse, shed, detox. Gemini rules tech and communication. This is funny because I'm going to tell you right before this pocket that we're in. Long story short, my phone crapped out and I had to get a new one. And I was like, I lost a bunch of stuff. But that's okay because shit happens for a reason sometimes. So it's just funny, the synchronicity that I'm reading this again right now. Because when I read it initially before the full moon came, I was like, oh, shoot, that's so funny. But listen, and it was like right post Mercury retrograde too. You can't beat it. But Gemini rules tech and communication. Now, mind you, we're also preparing for Uranus. When Uranus finishes his Taurus journey next year, he'll join the, hey, let's do a whole new timeline gang. And Uranus will go into Gemini. So that's also why it's important to streamline how you understand what do you do for work in the world? How does your brain think? How are you connected to moving with or fighting against technology? Do you understand the shadow and the light frequencies of it? There's a lot of things, a lot of old ways of doing things and being things and communicating with people. So it's very poignant. But listen, he says delete old texts, old notes. Ooh, child. They is some old stuff. This makes me think too. Look, I use Google a lot to save like my readings and all of my the stuff that I do with people, and just you be just having files on your drives and whatnot. And I think I lost like this whole folder, and I was like, whoa. But then I was having a conversation with someone. I was like, that's crazy. I didn't need none of that stuff anyway. But it just goes to show, right? Old text, old notes, old drafts, old emails, old photos. Make space for new inspirations and ways to communicate. Yes. He writes, shit can and will get messy during and after a Gemini full moon. Ooh, child, it did. And unpack it we did. He said there will be a lot of shit to unpack. And sometimes, don't we, when we unpack a bunch of stuff, we be like, I can just donate this. Another funny synchronicity, I love to share mine because maybe it triggers you to think about yours. But another thing was replacing the bed in this other room. And then I was sharing this in another collective and realizing as I was redoing this whole room, like, oh, I got to go through all this needs to go. Oh my gosh, this does too. Why is this in this closet? You know what I'm talking about? So unpacking sometimes will be good because it will be cleansing. And that reminds you of the echoings of the fact that this is a 9-year, a Virgo year. A snake, a year of the wood snake, right? We can't reground and reclaim these new awakenings and these new transformations without shedding, okay? It says there will be a lot of shit to unpack. Ooh, that hit my chest, okay? Be prepared. Oh, we're going to read Yule log too, but look at that. We've got 4-4. Okay, Spirit is saying we're going to read. Hold on. See, when we sit in the channels, y'all, I'm telling you. We're going to look up the 4, is it 44 or 444? We'll see. That's very rebuild foundations. Be prepared to look in the mirror. Okay, not I'm starting with a man in the mirror. I'm asking them to change their ways. Okay, and not me singing. It says be self-aware. Find your voice. Embrace change. Take accountability, be honest with yourself and others, and activate your throat chakra. But listen, that's not always about, hey, embrace change, take accountability, and be honest with yourself. That's a whole body of work in and of itself, friend. But it will change your life, I guarantee you, if you can be open-minded. Now it says, this is a very Mercury moon. Okay, remember this is kind of like a full moon review, right? Mind you, we're in the post-shadow period of Mercury retrograde, as we were saying before. This moon will bring up and highlight certain themes that you'll be asked to release, question, embrace, reevaluate, and bring clarity to in yourself, first and foremost. But then ideally, you will see that shift then out into relationships and habits, right? It says the full moon was about being talkative, informative, whether that's delusional, loud, messy, or insightful. Pay attention to what you're peeping around this time. Angel numbers, dreams, intuitive downloads. What keeps catching your attention? Animals or synchronicities? Yes. Okay. The Gemini full moon was like the final cleanup. before we step into 2026, re-examine everything. Of course, we know that's going to be the year of the horse. We know that's going to be a 10-year, very blessed Jupiterian year. Lots of new beginnings, right? So it says, before we step into 2026, I'm still reading Joshology. Re-examine everything, and I mean everything. It says love life, finances, health, hobbies, habits, routines, car, family, pets, mental health, diet, sleep, body, hair, living arrangement, goals, okay? Because it's this energy of kind of realizing, you know what I'm getting? And it's like, so funny because I didn't mean to click this, but I clicked this screenshot and it popped up anyway. And it says, no more repeated cycles. It's time to grow. Absolutely. Because the thing is you might have these whole, we got one more set of these little clips I want to read through for you. You have this whole turnabout, full circle, emotional, spiritual, mental moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I've been doing X, Y, and Z this whole way, this whole time. And I'm done with that. Wow, I've been stuck on this past hurt that I have been, what do they call, what are some good words? Limerence. What do they call? I can't remember the word, but there's a psychological term. You know, we love our psychology and quantum physics and science and therapy over here too, honey. It all is a part of the whole, and spirituality too, but it can't only be spirituality because sometimes we get a little bit, you can dip off into a place and you may not be grounded. It has to be balanced. I'm hearing limerence, but it's a different word. Oh, rumination. Okay. You know, you have these moments and it's like you have a cataclysmic argument and you be like, damn, I can't even believe that led to that argument. And then something comes out and you hear it and you're like, wait. And if you allow your mind to be open to receive an alchemical moment, some things can really come together. Those type of Gemini, Sag, Saturn fucking moving direct. The water is washing things clean. You're making space and you go, oh shit. You know what? I see that completely different now. We have to be open to those moments too. You get what I'm saying? That's that I'm starting with the man in the mirror. In the mirror, in the mirror. This is what Spirit is saying to me. It's hard. You know why? That's why everybody don't do it, honey. You know we co-ruled by Saturn over here, and I got a bunch of Aquarius, okay? Saturn gonna get you together real quick and set you down and say, this hurts me more than it hurts you, but I think there's some things that you need to look at that are really damaging your long-term sustainability of your life, your ability to really become more mature in this and this area. Okay, did you not hear what they just said to you? No. Are you listening? We are going to have moments like that too. I'm sure that you've already had them. Lord, may the goddess know that I have had them as well. Okay. Listen, this is the other little set of screenshots. I love her too. She's called Leap of Faith. Leap of Faith quotes, I think. Also on Instagram. I meticulously curate what pops up in front of me every single day. So I'm very mindful about that. So if I suggest someone to you, it's because they give me value. They confirm things for me that are resonant, you know. And sometimes you having a tough day and you're taking a mental break moment, you need something to pop up in your feed and you say, oh, you know, right, I was getting pulled off my alignment. I'm glad I read that. So we love Leap of Faith, okay? This is what it says. Saturn retrograde brought delays, restructuring, rethinking, hard, very hard lessons. Now the momentum will return, but it'll return slowly. Again, because if you're moving too fast, that may be shadow, that may be avoidance, that may be I'm not really alchemized the lesson. It's just uncomfortable. So I'm trying to move forward because I don't want to sit in the uncomfortability. But that's where we get wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Saturn direct will equal steady progress, firm decisions. Hey, you know what? We're going to see this through. Yep, we learned a lot. Yep, this sucks. Damn, you're telling me we got to go back in here and clean up this mess? Yep, but we're going to do it. Or, again, on the flip side, you may find yourself on a path that is much more like, yeah, it's going to be time to go. I love what the other versions of myself have brought me up to this current. I honor them, I grieve them, I celebrate them, but it's time to go. It's time to go to the career path. It's time to really finish that degree. It's time to move. It's time to leave. It's time to cut the cord. Whatever that looks like for you. And again, please understand that this internal alchemical work is ideally happening within first. First, we have to say, it is time to stop ruminating on those old versions of myself. It is time to really alchemize the wisdom of what I went through instead of choosing it as an identity of victimhood forever. You know what I mean? And that's really hard. It is. Hashtag me too over here. Okay, I just want you to know. I am not, unfortunately, speaking from a lack of experience in that department. Okay? Saturn direct will equal steady progress. Steady, slow and steady wins the race, right? Firm decisions. We begin to see forward movement in goals, discipline, and long-term growth. Saturn being direct is the path straightens. Your focus returns. The pressure eases. Lessons begin to solidify into wisdom, and you can see the next steps now. What was stalled will begin moving forward with steady momentum. Now, mind you, because I tell people, like, yes, this can all be true, but at the same time, in a dualistic nature of incarnating into Earth, at the same time that is true, it doesn't mean we don't have to finish cleaning up our room. It doesn't mean that we don't have to finish paying off, whether it's energetic or literal physical debts, right? Wrapping up all the karmic cycles. We still do. We still have to sit in the uncomfortable, watery moments. There still will be spaces of void, but that does not mean that you're not moving forward in a steady way, right? What was stalled begins moving forward with steady momentum, because it's kind of like, I can see clearly now. But then Spirit's hitting pause and saying, okay, but all the rain might not be gone. That's okay. I can still see clearly. Those can both be true at the same time, right? And then I love, oh gosh, y'all, I don't want to butcher her last name, but I love her account. Her name is Jessie, and her last name is spelled Eccles. Is it Eccles, maybe? Eccles? Your nervous system is your portal to your next timeline. So those were some things that really resonated with me. I do want to read from the Yule Oracle. Y'all saw Yule log. Rituals could be very important. Lighting candles. Being really mindful, I'm hearing, of who you're gathering with at this time. I'm not saying it's going to be like that forever. No, it's not. Things are temporary. So are cycles. But I'm saying being mindful right now. Right. I love that there are mushrooms on this Yule log, because it's a representation of that death, that alchemical, transmutation work of death in the mushroom there. It says, insert me with a bleeding thought, a sacred creation birth from thy. I am God, I am goddess, I am creation, and I am creator. Wow. Okay, let's read this together. Letting go, creation, God, and the goddess. Yule logs are burned for 12 days and represent the rising sun and the birth of a new sun god. Yule logs are decorated with all kinds of Christmas cheer. And when it is lit, each member of your household gets to take a turn, tossing in anything you'd like to release from the year. Each person gets to set, this is so perfect. Spirit's like, yeah, of course it is. Each person gets to set an intention for what they hope to call into their lives. Yule logs represent a beautiful cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. When we clear out the old, we make space for all of the beauty left to come. Creation is a harmonic blend of both destruction and building. Yep, hence the mushrooms, right? Some things must be cleared out and destroyed so that you have room to welcome in something new. Channel the energy of the goddess by healing and letting go of anything holding you back. And see, I just want to return as a reminder and wisdom that Just like, oh, I cut that person out. I cut that person out. Oh, I left that job. I left. Okay. But if you're not alchemizing what's going on inside of you that is bringing in those cycles, whether you call them karma or just life experience or whatever the case may be, what verbiage of choice, right? But if you look at yourself and say, what is the root of that? If you're not alchemizing the wisdom, then unfortunately some of those things you may find the same things at a different job, the same things in a new relationship. The same things when you go out with new friends. The same things when you start a creative endeavor or a new business venture, whatever the case may be. So those are the things that we really want to be sitting with, because then when we get those right, when we get those tight, when we are locked in an alignment and we understand, I'm not saying we can be perfect. There, being human is always evolutionary, especially even not more at a different pace now because we're in the age of Aquarius, right? Okay, so I'm just hoping that you're being open to that, because that's the hardest part, okay? Of saying, well, you know what? The reason that had a doorway into my life was because of this right here. It was because of this pattern. It was because of I keep looking for this wound in another person, or I keep avoiding my soul purpose when it comes to my work, or I know that I've lacked discipline for a long time, and this is the root of that. Whatever the case may be, right? Channel the energy of the goddess by healing, because that's the essence there. Okay. And letting go of anything holding you back. Then channel the power of the god, right? That's Mars and Sag. And then Mars will be shifting to, that's also Saturn. Okay. Right. Then channel the energy of the god by invoking action, courage, and determination. We both energies, we're aiming to have balance and harmony, right? So it's got to be both, right? Although, yes, I understand you're like, do you see all this water in the I know. I understand it is very heavy on the feminine frequencies. But what does that tell you? Even more letting go, even more seeking of the void, even more understanding of the emotions that are still, there's maybe residual residue that is at the root of a lot of things, even more so on that end, right? Both energies, male and female, are required to be successful in your dreams, goals, and manifestations. Yule log reminds you that what you wish for will take more than one approach. I'm also hearing that be careful what you wish for. Hold on, I'm seeing a rune. Is it the rune of right wishing? You know we love our runes over here, okay? The rune of right wishing, we used to call it. I used to make series of like oils and alchemical water mist potions that were based on runes. Yes, Tiwaz. Okay, Tiwaz is what I was thinking of. We call Tiwaz the rune of right wishing. What are you disciplining yourself? What goals are you reaching for? Spiritual, mental, physical, right? Are they rooted in wisdom? Are they rooted in the divine connection of you with your higher self? And when you could even you could work with Tiwaz, which looks like an arrow pointing up, or you could even really partner that with Ansus, with Jabo, gift, inspiration, right wishing. These are all the things that we want to evaluate as the root of these new timelines that we move into, okay? Right wishing, essentially, when we think about Tiwaz and we think about Ansus, honor, wisdom, discipline, it really comes down to the intention underneath things, right? And what are those intentions rooted in? So I am seeing that rune. I was hearing very clearly the rune of right wishing. So perhaps that is, you may want to work with some of those runes, journal, meditate, or connect with those in your higher spirit team. Let's see what... I'm going to open up angel number oracles. Is there a 4-4 in this deck, or is it only 4-4-4? I think there's both. Okay, Spirit, so we're going to read both, okay? 4-4, look at you putting in that hard work to lay some beautiful solid foundations to build upon. Your angels see you. This is a message of support for you. Overcome any obstacles that come up one step at a time. Check in on the things that keep you solid. Are your relationships good? What about your habits and overall well-being? It feels like a wrap-up or reflection of all the Virgo work, of all the sixth house work too. I'm doing a lot of one-on-one with that all year, pointing people to their sixth house. Maybe you want to sit and reflect with that as well. Maybe in the spring or the beginning, however you mark the beginning of the year, you're looking back and saying, well, how did we do with that? What did I learn with that? Right? It does make me think of that, the sixth house and Virgo energy. Overcome any obstacles that come up one step at a time. There comes that steady long-term sustainability, that discipline, okay? Check in on the things that keep you solid. Okay, yeah, we read about that, right? Okay, so upright, it says strong foundations and stability, inner work and healing. Positive solutions are available to you, celebrating your hard work and reaping the rewards. Now, the reversal, just the shadow, I mean, it's not reverse. We're just reading it because we have 44 here. But the shadow, the caution, if you will, says, need to address any cracks in your foundations, negative thought patterns and bad habits, fear of trusting those in your life, difficulty in your family or relationship. Those could be areas that you look to, right? Or that you're struggling with. The affirmation says, I am strong, steady, and supported. Okay. I also want to look at 444. It says, okay, it's like a reiteration, but it's good. Wow, hard work and abundance mindset looks so amazing on you. You've really been putting in the effort, laying the hard won groundwork for amazing growth and abundance. The universe loves someone who vibrates at a frequency of gratitude, so clap yourself on the back and stick with it. You're on the right path to manifest your desires through hard work and intentionality. Your angels are watching over you, protecting you and your dreams. Upright protection, capability, and determination. Hard work yielding amazing rewards. Reassurance. And because let me say this too, and I know we're at a long time mark here, so I love you so much. If you're still here, there's additional messages for you, right? I appreciate you. Some will also find themselves at a culmination of their life where perhaps you have been working really hard on a goal or a degree or a business or a dream, or like a culmination, a peak, like realization about, wow, this really is my purpose. I really am going to keep going for this because I've worked so hard. And sometimes what will happen is we'll realize that there were blockages that were in our way. There were root traumas, healing, other things that drained our energy, that stood in our way as blockages on our path, right? We're not necessarily, sometimes I think people will be in this energy, right? And they'll be like, well, I just got to get rid of everything and cut off everybody and just be doing stuff to do it. And that's not the case. You have to really be sitting with yourself, because you may be shown that it's actually patterns within you that are blocking yourself. Perhaps for some, right, you might actually be in a relationship where you didn't realize you were projecting a lot of fears. You didn't realize that you were ruminating on things from the past and they were causing a lot of problems because you're not in the present. There's lots of different things there, right? So you have to be able to sit with yourself and really understand what it is that you value and what it is that you've learned, right? That is the ending of this huge pocket of energy we're in. You're on the right path to manifest your desires through hard work and intentionality. Your angels are watching over you, protecting you and your dreams. Protection, capability, and determination. Hard work yielding amazing rewards. Reassurance that you are loved and supported, and celebrating your wins. Okay, reversed. Remember, that's the cautionary energy, the shadow side of the frequency, right? Reverse says cutting corners or skirting your work, downplaying your capabilities, giving up without trying, and a doom and gloom mindset. A river of abundance flows through me. Ooh, I dare you to be writing that 3 times 3 times 3. Do that for the next 7 days. Do that until the end of the moon cycle. Do that until the end of the year, and surprise yourself and see what happens and what you open up by releasing attachment, by trusting, by listening for wisdom and discernment. A river of abundance flows through me, right? All right, my friends. I'm so happy to spend time and check in with you. I love you. Take good care of yourselves out there until we share some time again. Stay grounded, okay? And make time. Make time to just be in the present moment so that you can be open to receive, all right? I love you. I look forward to talking to you soon, guys. Bye.